there everyone, it's Kathy Champion and you're back here on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. Thanks so much for tuning in. As I always say, it's always good to have you here. As many of you know, and those that don't, I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located here in the beautiful state of North Carolina. But if you're not currently working with a demonstrator, I would absolutely love the opportunity to earn your business. So if you're interested in purchasing products from either of our annual catalog or our mini catalog, aka Christmas catalog, or I should say fall and Christmas. This just debuted the 1st of July, so it's brand new. I mean, it's only been out a couple weeks now, and it is jam-packed with some beautiful stuff. Today I'm going to do a fun fold card, and I'm going to center in on the Storybook Gnomes. I promised I was going to do a card the first part of the week. I really was trying to get this up, but we had some issues here in our home with our washer, and I never got a chance to get in here to record this earlier. So therefore, this is not going up on Monday. It's actually, I'm recording on Monday. Hopefully it'll be up Tuesday, but we're going to work with this Storybook Gnomes suite. But I'm going to focus in on the dies and the paper, because the paper and the dies do something absolutely fantastic. You can cut all of these little critters out of your paper. Absolutely stunning way to showcase our gnomes. So I love gnomes. I think they're so cute. Some people think they're creepy, but I just find them enchanting. I think that would be the word, enchanting. So the paper is absolutely gorgeous. You're going to see it better once I show it to you in real life, because the pictures, I've heard so many demonstrators say this, the picture does not do the paper justice. So, and if you order this entire suite collection, you get the stamps, the dies, ribbon, jewels. You get this beautiful little snow, it's called Snowfall Accent Puff Paint, and this actually puffs up. So it's great, a great accent product to have. And also this beautiful pack of 12 by 12 designer series paper. So also I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not, because I haven't really decided, but in our celebration catalog, which everything in this catalog is absolutely free, you cannot purchase it, you have to earn it. And on page 6 and 7, they showcase this free pack of paper. So with a $50 purchase, you can get this absolutely free. So it's called Rings of Love, and it is absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorites. Love, love, love this paper. I'm not too sure I'm not going to have to case this card right here, because I love it. I think it's so cute. But anyway, let's move on, and I'm going to put my catalogs out of our way. And I'm going to show you the fun fold card that we're going to do today. I'm not going to make it quite this way. I did pull some other products that we're not Stampin' Up, so I don't like to show other products because it's kind of against our compliance. But I do want to show you the fun fold card. The only thing that has something else on it is the belly band. And I did it because I was looking for a camera and something that said snapshot, and I thought that was really cute, so I put that on the belly band. Also, I used a border punch, and punched on both sides and wrapped my belly band with that to give a little design. But here's what makes the card so unique, and I've done one of these cards once before. It's called a shutter card, and basically it's like the shutter of a camera is opening to reveal a message or a stamp or a die cut or whatever you want that to say. This one I did it as a birthday card, but you could do this with anything that you wanted to, and how stinking cute is that? So I'm thinking we're going to have fun with this card. So we're going to do the belly band, we're going to decorate that up really pretty, but I want to show you how to make the mechanisms for the card first. So I've got all of my pieces pre-cut. Let me zoom y'all out just a little bit, about like that. And I'm going to start with my card base. And the card base is basically 8.5. Let me double check my measurements. 8.5 by 5.5. Yep, 8.5 by 5.5. But we're not going to score at 4 1/4 in the middle like we normally do. We're going to do what's called a gatefold. Now let's do it. Let's do it the way I like to do it. We're going to bring it to 2 1/8, and I'm going to give it a good score. And I'm going to go ahead and fold that in. I'm going to burnish that down really good. And this is going to be a little harder to do because this is the thick cardstock, but I'm going to bring that over and meet it up right in the middle, just like that. Once I get that met in the middle, just like I want it, I'm going to use my bone folder and just kind of come down like that. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do the same thing on this end. I'm just going to burnish it down, and then I'm going to take the side of my bone folder and really iron that out. Now we have a nice little card that comes together right in the middle. This trick works every time. I don't know why I don't just use this all the time, but I was trying to find a way where you could cut it and score it, and it just didn't work. It worked on my demo, but it didn't work on this one. All right, you know, when you're in front of the camera, nothing ever turns out the way you want it, so there's no surprise to me that it didn't. I'm really giving this a good burnish because there's going to be bulk in this card anyway. So this is a standard gatefold card that we're working with, but I want to show you what makes this card so special. And it is going to be these two pieces right here, along with a template that we're making, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. I want to go ahead and prep these pieces. So on the 4-inch side, we need to score at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put this in at 1/2. I think I'm going to do it on this side. Makes it easier to hold on to. I'm going to score that really good at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to put this one in and do the same thing, 1/2 inch. Give it a good score. And now what we want to do is, first thing I want to do is iron my edges. If you cut thick cardstock, you're going to get that curling on your edges. But if you take your bone folder and just run over around those edges, it will flatten them out, and your piece will feel nice and smooth all the way around. And this is something that used to drive me crazy until I learned how to get rid of these. So just iron out those little bumps, and then your cardstock has none of that curly feel around the edges. So we're going to bend this back and burnish it. And do the same thing to this one. Just bend that piece back. That's going to be your little tab piece that's going to help you to attach that inside your card. So you're going to have one tab that's going to be to the left and one tab to the right. Here's our tab, and here's our tab. Right and left. Okay, this is not where this ends. You're going to need a piece of cardstock, and this is how you're going to make our template. Now I'm going to put a copy of this template in the description, in the blog post. There'll be an instruction sheet, and I'm going to draw this out and put it on the PDF so that you can have that to cut out if you want to. Or if you don't want to do that, all you need is a piece of cardstock that's 2 inches by 3.5 inches, and all you're going to do is find your center, and it's 1 5/8 this way and 1 5/8 this way. So if you get 1 5/8 on both sides or one side and put a tick mark at the top of that, then all you're going to do is go from the outside corner at the 3.5 inch and cut up. And let me show you. I'm going to just use a pair of shears for this, and all you're going to do is just cut straight up and straight down, and that's going to give you this piece right here. Now I cut this one and I made it out of a heavier cardstock. This is the backing off of one of our paper packs. So when I use up the paper, I save those because they make really nice pieces for templates and things like that. So there's our template, and that's how you make it. And when you finish, you should just have these two little angle pieces that measures 1 5/8 across the top, 1 5/8 on each side. So now that we've got that done, what we're going to do is we're going to take this template and we're going to lay it down on the bottom. Your flap is up here. Here's your flap. You want your peak or your point to be pointing toward your flap. Put that down nice and even. Take your pencil and make yourself a little dot right there. Now all you're going to do is cut from this outside edge up to that dot, and then you're going to come over here and cut from that side up to the dot. And it's not hard to do. It works better if you've got a large pair of scissors, because you want to make sure that you're going straight in. Up to the dot, not past it. Then we're going to come over on this side and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come right there, line your scissors up toward that dot, and cut straight up. And I would suggest practicing this before you actually cut it. I'm going to grab my paper snips because this will allow me to get up in there with a little sharp point to actually get that snipped out. And just like that. So now you've got another template if you need it. You really only need one, because all you're doing is making sure that that point right here at the top, your 3.5 inches is across here. That's the reason I marked everything on here, so I would not forget where what went. So I know that this is my 3.5 inch side, and it's going to live right here. And I'm going to hold that and put my dot right at the top of that, just like that. Again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come in from this corner, just eyeballing that. Keep your eye on the dot so you know that you're aiming for the right place, and then turn around and do the same thing here. Come in, make sure you're aiming for that dot. Then we can always come back in, like I said, with our snips, which will make it a little bit easier to get that piece out. Just like that. So now you have your two pieces. This is the mechanism that's going to make our shutter. So this is exactly how that's going to go and fit. So we're not ready to put that in. We're just leave that over to the side. You're going to need one more piece, and this piece is 3 by 5.5, and it's just a plain piece of cardstock. And if you want to cover it before you actually put a hole in it. And I'll show you what I mean. We're either going to punch or die cut a circle right here in the middle of this, and I'll show you how we do that in just a minute. Let's bring our card back over, because we've got all of our pieces, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This piece is going to lay in here. You're going to decide where you want it, and then make sure you're not impeding that score line right there. So I'm going to come down to about, maybe up a little bit, maybe right about there. And I'm going to come back off of that line, and I'm going to test it and make sure that that will move back and forth readily easy. And this is where this piece is going to go in. But if you want to mat any of this, you want to mat before you glue anything else down. So that's what we're going to do. So if you noticed on this one, I have matted a designer series paper here. I did a piece back here along with a mat, and then I've got the mechanism made out of a different color, and I have this out of a color that, and both of these colors coordinate with this, and I think it's really a cute card. And I used that Ring of I'll get it wrong. Rings of Love. This is the paper I used to make that out of. And there was a piece in here that I absolutely love for the little gnome card. Oh, and I don't see it. Did I use it? I know I didn't use that piece. Oh, this is it. Look how pretty this piece is with the little mushrooms and the foliage and the butterflies. Oh my, that is just scrumptious. And I think we're going to use this to decorate a little bit with our card. I think it's going to coordinate really well with our other papers, I think. But then I want to make this a Christmas card, so do I want to use that, or do I just want to go with these three? Alright, y'all know that I am a woman that changes her mind often. So we're gonna switch it up. I think I want the snowflake for my background. This is going to cut out matting, so this is going to cut out some of the time on our card. So I'm going to mat here and both sides on the inside with this paper. And in order to do that, we need to cut our mats, and our mats are going to be, the middle one is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So let's go ahead and get that piece cut. I'm going to lay these up here out of our way. Let's get our mechanisms over here out of the way. The scissors out of the way. Alright, so we're going to cut this at 4 by 5 1/4, a standard mat for any A2 size card. Just like that. That's going to look so pretty inside there. Just like that. Now we need 2 pieces for the outside, so I think we can get those out of here. So they need to be 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So 1 3/4. One and 3/4. And then we're going to cut both of these down to 5 1/4. So I'm going to put them both in here at the same time and take it to 5 1/4. And I'm going to slice up. Now we have our mats for inside and both our left and right door. Now we're still going to need to do mats for out here. So this is where you're going to use a little creativity. You know, that gnome paper might work on the outside. Or, I have an idea. What gave me that idea is when I flipped this over, how cute would this be on the outside? It looks very wintry, and I have a good piece of it right here. So I'm going to do 1 1/4. And turn it and get 5 1/4. Oops, wrong blade. Alright, so now we've got these trees to put on the outside. So let's go ahead and glue down our mats that we've gotten so far. And we're going to kind of build this as we go. So these are our 2 front ones, and these are the ones for inside. So I'm going to press the card open like so. Let's move these up here. And let's go ahead and put some, trying to decide what adhesive do I want to use. Oh, sorry. I didn't rest well last night, and I am feeling it today. So bear with me. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put some Stampin' Seal on this. A little bit all the way around. This stuff is super strong, so it doesn't take a lot. And now we're going to get these beautiful snowflakes all in the center of our card. Give it a good press. Make sure that seal is sealing it down really well. Now we can take these two pieces and go ahead and get those adhered. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use some Stampin' Seal. Get that on just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing with this piece. So we're going to and then we're going to very strategically set this one down. A little bit more strategic than that. So there is our inside of our card has been completely matted. Now we need to do the two pieces on the front. So I'm going to do this piece here and this piece here. Isn't that cute? Where do I want to do it? No, I think like I had it the first time. So I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal again. I'm going to set this down, get it nice and straight. And I'm going to iron that out. Remember, I told you that sometimes your paper will curl, and this, I could definitely feel that it had curled. So I'm just going to do that. Maybe before I glue this one on, I'll press it out a little bit. It presses either way, so it doesn't matter whether you do it before or after. But sometimes if you already have it pressed, it's going to be a little bit more invigorating. That's, I don't think that's the right word either, but that's okay. So I am going to just go ahead and get my Stampin' Seal on here. Alright, that went on really well. So now our card itself is covered and lined, and we're ready to go ahead and move toward putting in our pieces. Now if you want to line these at this point, this would be when you'd want to do it. So what you want to do is find where you want this to go, and I'm going to take mine up to the top just a hair. So I'm going to keep a finger on that because I don't want it to go past that score line right there. You want to make sure that that score line, if you come over top of it, you're going to get a little resistance when you close that. But you want to stay on this, on the right side or the left side of that score mark. And then the question is whether I want to use liquid glue or if I want to use seal. And I think I'm just going to go in with some liquid glue. And I'm just going to close that up on there. Give it a good press. Now we're going to take the other one and do the same thing. We're going to interlock. We're going to bring this, and a good way to know that you're getting it straight is if these are straight, this should be straight. Alright, once you get that set in there exactly like you want it, and you want to make sure that these pieces are even with the piece that you've already glued in. Alright, it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this piece and let this piece slide back. And I'm going to hold that right there. And then I am going to proceed to put my glue down. And then glue that down. And now there is our mechanism. But we have to do something more. We need something here in the middle with a little scene on it. So I'm going back into my gnome paper. And look how cute these little scenes are on this paper. So we're going to see if we can find a die that will accommodate me cutting one of those out. I think they're so stinking cute. I love this one right here. So let's see if we can find a die that we can cut that out with that will work in the middle. So I tell you what, let me go and check out, and we'll be right back. Alright, now we have our shutter piece in here and everything closes together like it should, we are ready to go ahead and start building what is going to show inside of our shutter. So when this opens up, you want it to be a scene or a message. In this case, I'm going to use a scene. Now I know it's going to open up to at least here. If the person pulls the card all the way, it will open up that big. This paper that I showed y'all, which is the Storybook Gnome, I think. What is it called? Let me find, here it is. Let me find the name of it. It is the Storybook Gnomes. And in that pack of paper, you have this beautiful little piece here that's got all these little scenes of the gnomes and the little reindeer. And I really like this one. I like it because it's different than having blue. It's showing some green and white and red, along with the crumb cake of the little fawn. So I've pulled my layering diorama dies, and I'm going to use the smallest one. And what I want to do is I want to cut out just like that little scene that's actually going to get glued right back here. And what I did is I fitted this to make sure it was going to work, and I think that is going to work beautifully right into that space. So let's go ahead and cut it out, and then we'll fit it in there and see what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a pair of scissors, and I am going to cut around this piece like this, just getting that piece that I want out of my paper. And now we can lay our die on here and kind of get a feel for, I think like that would be good. Maybe like that. I think we'll get more of it like that. So I'm going to run that through the die machine, and we'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, and I went ahead and got this run through, and this is what we're going to have from that little scene. And look how stinking cute that is. And if you wanted to, you could cut the one size bigger and frame it. Let's do that, and let's maybe do it in, white. I think the white will be really pretty behind it. It'll give it a nice little frame, and I think it will work really well. So I'm going to grab the next size down, and that one is going to fit over a piece of white like that, and it will give us that much of a border, which I think is going to be really cute like that. So let me grab a piece of scrap white. I know I have some because I had a bunch of white right here. Here we go. And I'm just going to cut that piece out. So just bear with me. I'm going to cut it right here while y'all watch. Well, not really watch because I am doing this off to the side. And then here is our piece. I think that's really going to give a good accent, and that's the good thing about having any of your layering dies. You can always make frames to go around different items, which is always nice. We could even pop this up if we wanted to, but see how that really does frame that, and it just looks so much better than it did just kind of floating. And then when we put it back here, it is going to sit about like this. I'm going to close our little frame up around it, and when that opens up, this is what you will see. And I think that's exactly what I want. I think I'm going to come over this way just a hair. Let's do another trial run. Need to go up just a hair. And I think that's just about perfect. I think I am. I think I'm going to put it on dimensionals. So let me grab my Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to adhere this pretty good in here because we are going to have that little window moving back and forth over top of it. I don't think it'll come loose, but I don't skimp on my dimensionals. I like to make sure I have enough on there to hold everything in place. So now we're ready to lift those off. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick and just lift these off my piece. I'm going to continue to go around lifting these off, just like that. And then we can bring this up, and as long as we're getting it into that little divot right there, and I'm going to let that go over it just ever so slightly, just enough to cover my pencil mark. Maybe I'll come, yeah, you know what, I'm going to take that pencil mark off because I'm afraid if they hold the card up that will definitely show. So I know that I want it to be right about here. So let's look at it again. You can reposition these as long as you don't press them down. You gently lay them. So I'm going to put that right there. I need to come over this way just a bit. I think that's good. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. So then when you open it, you're going to see that cute little gnome and the reindeer. So that inside piece is done. Now if you want to cover these, you can. I'm not. I'm going to leave mine white because I like that white showing. If you want to cover them, you can cut your pieces just like this and just even them up all the way around. I do see a pencil mark on here that I need to get rid of. You don't want pencil marks left on your cards if you make little notations here and there with a pencil. Just make sure you clean that up before you finish your card off. Alright, so now we're ready to put our cover piece on, and that is this piece right here. Now this piece you're going to cut a circle in, and you're going to pop it up on some dimensionals. So we're going to cut a hole in the middle. So I want to get it right where I know that I want it to live, which is going to be right in the center. So I'm gonna get that together just like that, and then we're gonna put this down, and we're gonna use some foam strips to adhere it so it sits up over top of this just a bit. So we're gonna cover this. So let's see what we want to cover that with. I don't think I want to go with the blue there. I think I want to do something a little bit different. So I'm looking at my gnome paper, and remember I told you that I thought I might want to pull a piece of this, and this is what I think I do. I think I want, I don't know, that has such a fall feel to it. No, let's not go there. Let's grab, let me get my gnome paper and we'll look at it and see what we think we want on the front. Let's see, we had that beautiful snowflake. There's what we used on the very front. We could always use another piece of that, which would be adorable. I think I'm going to use a piece of this. We already have it out, so why not use it? So let me grab my, here's my pen. Put my pen back in my glue. And I'm going to grab my trimmer. And I know this piece is 3 by 5.5, so I need to cut a piece that's 3 inches. Let's do 5.5 first. Cut it off this way first. So 5.5 by 3. This is going to cover this piece completely. So when you sit this down on here, it's going to be a complete even match. Now you want to glue this before you punch your hole in it, or die cut your hole, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's just go ahead and glue this on and then I'll show you. Let's move this out of the way. And now I'm going to use glue because I want to be able to manipulate this and make sure that I can get it nice and even. So there we go, and then we can just lay this down, and what you want to do is make sure you get it all the way to the bottom and then just run it straight up. And I like to lift my piece when I'm matching edge to edge. I like to just bring it up like that, make sure everything adheres perfectly. I am going to take my bone folder and just press over it just to give myself a nice seal with that glue. So now we need to take a decorative punch, and we're going to punch a circle out of here. It can be a punch, it can be a die. I'm looking for that new punch. Oh, this is it. This is called the decorative circle. I think that'd be really pretty. So what we need to decide is how far up we need this to go. So I'm going to lay this under here, just like that, where I know it's going to be right there in the middle. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to take a pencil, and I am going to just make little lines on the outside edges of that. That lets me know where I need to cut. I'm looking to make sure I can see all 4 of my lines. And I don't. Okay, let's try that again. That's right in the middle. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to mark in the white area so that I can see them. Now I can see those. So I'm going to take my decorative punch and I'm going to go in, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting right in the center of that piece and that I'm taking in all of my pencil marks. And right about there looks good. I think yeah, there's a pencil mark, there's a pencil mark, there's one, and there's one. So that looks pretty good. So I'm going to punch and hope that this is going to work. And that was hard because we were punching through the thick cardstock covered with the Designer Series paper. So, but it worked fine. So what this is going to do, this is going to hold your opening in place. So when you open it, that little peek hole is going to be adhered to this. Not adhered, we're going to adhere at the bottom and the top, but everything's going to come together just like that. So the next thing we need to do is get our adhesive strips, and I have a pack already open, so I'm going to grab these. And these are so nice. So let's lay one across here. And this one should go right across the top or the bottom. I'm not sure which because I can't see my Designer Series paper, so I'm not sure. That was the bottom. And let's take these off. And let's try this again. Press that down really good. I've got brown ink or something on my fingernail right there. It's driving me crazy. I'll get an alcohol wipe or something and get that out. Alright, so now I want to set this back down, but I want to make sure that I'm covering up my little boo-boo. Yeah, you only need one layer of the glue. Yeah, now that comes together like we want it. And we have our beautiful little shutter that reveals our little scene. Isn't that cute? Love it. Now if you want to, you could put some of this blue paper on here, but I think it's cute just like it is. I love that. Or you could do these in black. You could do these in the color of your Designer Series paper. So however you decide to do that is fine. So now what we want to do is we want to decorate the front. And in order to do that, we need a belly band. And our belly band is going to measure, and I got my notes right here. You know, I didn't put my belly band on here. Alright, the belly band is going to be 10 inches by 2 inches. And like I said, I believe our belly band is 10. So let's grab our trimmer. I'm going to do it 10 by 2 to give myself enough of room to decorate. So I'm going to cut her off at 2 inches first. Just like that. Or do I want it maybe 1 3/4? Yeah, let's do 1 3/4. And then we're going to cut this off at 10. So I'm going to stretch my arm out, bring it over to the 10-inch mark, and slice. Now you can score your belly band, or you can just fit it around your card. I like to fit mine around my card because I don't think it puts the stress on it that doing a fold on it. And see, if you do that, you've got that little bit of wiggle room to be able to have room to get it on and off of the card. So then you can just pinch it. And you can decide if you want to have it the seam on the front. I usually do because I'm going to decorate there. Nobody will see it. If you put it on the back, it's going to definitely be noticeable. But like this, it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some adhesive, and I think I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to come over to here. Again, I'm going to draw my line. Now I know that I don't need to pass that line with my seal. So I'm going to turn that over like this, and I'm just going to run my seal straight down, maybe about 3 runs of it. And if you need a little bit more up here, I didn't quite get it there, just roll it that way. Wrap it back around your card like so, and then bring that over to it, but make sure you got it nice and straight. And then we got that little pencil mark, so we're gonna use our eraser and get rid of that. Now we're ready to decorate this, and this to me is the fun part. So I am going to look at my gnomes again, my little gnomes and my gnome homes. Look at those, they are so stinking cute. I need to decide which one I want to cut out, and I think I want the red one right there. I think I'm going to cut him out, and maybe one of these houses. I think I'm going to do let's go in and get this little house right here. So I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm going to cut in. And cut down. And then just cut around. Now you could fussy cut these if you want to, but I say why fussy cut when we got dies, right? So I'm going to lay that piece over there, and then I am going to decide which one of my little gnomes. I think I might do the blue one, since he's going to be beside the little red house. So let's cut him out. Let's go in here and just snip him out just like that. So easy. And now we can grab our gnome dies. Nope, and you know what? My gnome dies aren't over here. I put them in a different place. And I probably should have grabbed those before I did everything else, but that's okay. Here's our house. And let's see which gnome I have. I think I have this one. These are just too cute. Like I said, some people think gnomes are kind of creepy, but I think they're just adorable. I guess it's a matter of perspective, right? So I'm going to line that up just like that. I'm going to use one of my little post-it flags just to kind of hold him in place. I'm going to lay him over on my, actually I'm going to lay him on top of a piece of cardstock because I want him to have a little something behind him. I want to do this one too. Maybe this piece, this is big enough to do this. So let's do that first. And then we'll come back. And I might have enough here. Yeah, I think I can get the gnome out there. Maybe we can do them all at the same time. Let's put that right there. And put the little die around it. You want to try to make sure that nothing is showing white around the edges of your die. And put that down like that. And this one like this. And I'm going to lay this on my plate, and I'm going to crank this through and see what we come out with. I think it's going to work. At least I hope so. I'm being extremely cautious to make sure I don't move those in any way. It's going to be tight because I'm cutting through 2 layers. So yeah, I knew I was going to get a pop. Anytime you're running through 2 layers, you're probably going to get that little pop on your die. But now we can pull that off very gently, and this can go in the trash. And we have our little gnome house, and we have a piece of thick basic white cardstock behind it to give it some stability on the front of our card, which I think it will definitely need it. And the same thing with our gnome. We've got him cut out in white, and we got it in the designer series paper. So anytime you're using your designer series paper as an accent piece, it's always a good rule of thumb to put some cardstock behind it, because it just makes it more substantial. So now I can move those over, and we can bring this back around. I'm going to go ahead and adhere these to my piece with just some liquid glue. Just like that. Easy peasy. And then we're going to do the same thing with our little mushroom house. And then I'm just going to press that down really good. And now we're ready to decorate the front. So I think I want the little house to go here, and maybe our little gnome buddy right there. But I also want a sentiment, so let's see. Let's put him there, that there, and we can maybe do a sentiment off to the side. How's that going to look? Let's put it on our card and see. So nice fit on the belly band. I think I'm going to put him down like that so we can see all of the house. And maybe a little sentiment right here. I wonder if we can get a Merry Christmas. Let's see what we got that we can stamp. And we can use one of these little pieces, the triangles that I cut off of the pieces. But let's look at the gnome stamp set. And he is called the Best Gnome. Is it Best Gnome? Brightest Gnome? Kindest Gnome. There we go. I love this. This is so cute. Look how cute the stamp set is. And they are in the cling stamps. So stinking cute. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I wonder if we can get that on a piece and make it work. I like that. And I think I'm going to stamp that in. Maybe Sweet Sorbet. Let's try it and see how it looks. So that is that beautiful Sweet Sorbet. And I'm going to grab a stamp block and pick that up. And I'm just going to come here and stamp it straight down and up. And we can trim that out. It's not a big deal if it's not straight. We can just trim it out. Let's go ahead and close our ink pad. And let's go ahead and clean that stamp. And let's get our scissors and see if we can just trim this out like that. And straight up the side like that. Oh yeah, how cute is that? Oh, I love it, I love it. I think that is so stinking cute. And I think we can get away with maybe putting, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and see if we can adhere this down. So we know we only want glue in the middle. So I'm going to just take some glue and put right here. And then I'm going to place this down where I want it, just right about there. Give it a good press. And if you feel like you need a little bit more, you can go up into the edges right there and mesh that down. I think I'm going to take it off of the card just for a minute. I don't want to glue this piece to my card. I just want to glue it to the belly band. And the same with this, I only want to do the top. So maybe from his shoulders up is where I'm going to put glue. And then I'm going to sit him right about here. And just adhere that down really good. Make sure you get a good stick. And then this piece can come right here, and I think I know exactly what I want to do. I want to put it right about like that. I think like this. And what I'm going to do is glue it straight down. In fact, I'm going to use a strip of seal for this. So I'm just going to take my Stampin' Seal and I'm going to go right across that. And then this is going to go, I'm going to line it up on this side. And then just let it come over on top of the gnome house. And there is our belly band. So we have this card ready to go. So how cute is this? So now we can go ahead and slide that down. I think the only thing that we're missing is maybe some gems. So I'm going to look into my little box of goodies, and I think let's see. The fine sparkle gems were the ones that came with this the set. So do I want to use those? Or I could always use red. And the glossy dots would be pretty. Those blue ones would be real pretty on there. Let's see which ones we're going to use. I think I don't know, I like those too. I think I'm going to go with these. And I have not opened these, so I am going to cut my side. Y'all know I like to open my gems from the side, so I always cut up the side of the package. That way I don't have to fight with getting them in and out. I can just go in, slide out. Oh, and we got some of those pretty, oh, I like these. All right, I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tool. I know it's here somewhere. Yes, I have a mess on my desk, y'all. Let's move some of this stuff out of our way so we can function a little bit. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with one of these little sweet sorbet. I'm going to put one there. And maybe one right there. And I think I want one of these blue ones to kind of hang off of the end of his hat. How cute is that? I love it. And then what about the doorknob? Wouldn't one of these look so adorable on the doorknob? So I'm going to take one of the medium-sized one and I'm going to put that there for the doorknob. It's amazing how just some little embellishments like that can really make the difference in the way your card looks. So here's our card. You slide this off, and then when you open it, you have a beautiful scene on the inside with your gnome and a little reindeer. And if you wanted to put a message in here, you could either put a little tag right here to sign, or you could put another piece on the back, a decorative piece, and write your note on the back. Either way would be acceptable and also very beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and move everything away, and we're just going to center in on this pretty little card made with our Candace gnomes and our gnome dies and that beautiful paper. So let's go in about to there. So cute. I love the way this turned out. I hope you did. I hope that this would be a challenge for you to try a card like this. The shutter card is not hard. What you need to do is just practice with that center mechanism, and once you get that mechanism down, everything else falls into place. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you are interested in purchasing any of the products that you saw today and you're not currently working with a demonstrator, please reach out to me. I would absolutely love the opportunity to earn your business, to be your demonstrator, and help you out in any of your stamping needs. So thanks again, and as I always say in closing, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.